Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper, Math P2, Variant 2, February March 2022. Let's get started. Measure the marked angle. Using a protractor, when we measure the angle, we get 40 degrees. Work out square root of 5 times 6 squared. Give your answer correct to 2 decimal places. When we type this into the calculator, we get 80.50 rounded to 2 decimal places. A journey starts at 21:15 one day and ends at 4:33 the next day. Calculate the time taken in hours and minutes. First, let's find the time duration from 21:15 to midnight. So we subtract 21:15 from 24 o'clock. Under the minute column, we can subtract 15 from 0. So we get 1 hour from the hour column, which becomes 60 minutes under the minute column. 60 minus 15 is 45. Under the hour column, 23 minus 21 is 2. So now, to get the total time duration, we add 2 hours 45 minutes to 4:33. Under the minute column, 45 plus 33 is 78. 60 minutes is 1 hour, so we add 1 to the hour column and leave the remaining 18 minutes under the minute column. Under the hour column, 1 plus 2 plus 4 is 7, so we have 7 hours 18 minutes. Calculate the total surface area of this cuboid. Here is the formula for the surface area of the cuboid. The length L has been given as 7 centimeters. The width W has been given as 4 centimeters and the height H has been given as 5 centimeters. When we plug in these values into the formula, we get 166 centimeters squared. Write down the gradient of the line y equals 5x plus 7. The given line has been expressed in the form y equals mx plus c. This means the coefficient of the x term is the gradient of the line, and so the gradient is 5. Find the coordinates of the point where the line y equals 5x plus 7 crosses the y-axis. At the point where the line crosses the y-axis, the x-coordinate is 0. When we plug in x equals 0 into the equation, we get y equals 7. Using a ruler and compasses only, construct this triangle. Leave in your construction arcs. The side of length 12 centimeters has been drawn for you. So first, we open the compass to a width of 9.5 centimeters. Stand at this point and inscribe an arc. Then measuring the width of the compass to be 8 centimeters, we stand at this point and inscribe another arc. From here, all we need to do is draw 2 lines from the base to the intersection point of the arcs to complete the triangle. Write down the inequality in terms of n, shown by the number line. The values in the direction of the arrow are all greater than -1, so we have n is greater than -1. Since the circle at -1 is hollow, it is not included in the interval, so we do not attach an equal sign to the greater than symbol. On the grid, draw the image of triangle A after a reflection in the y-axis. So first, we draw the line of reflection, which is x equals 0 or the y-axis. Then from here, we need to reflect the vertices of triangle A in the line x equals 0. So for point A on the triangle, since we moved 3 units to the left to touch the line of reflection, We also need to move 3 units to the left from the line of reflection to pin the new position of point A. We need to repeat the same process for points B and C on the triangle as well. When we are done, we are able to map out the reflected image of triangle A. Draw the image of triangle A after a translation by the vector -3, -4. For this translation, the translation vector dictates that we move each of the vertices of triangle A 3 units to the left and 4 units downwards. On the diagram, the movement for point C has been shown. After repeating the same process for all the other points as well, we are able to map out the translated image of triangle A. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. When we look at both triangles A and B, we can tell straight away that this is an enlargement by a scale factor of half because each of the sides of the image, which is triangle B, is half its corresponding sides in triangle A. This is a positive scale factor because the two triangles have the same orientation. From here, all we need to do now is to find the center of enlargement. We can get this by connecting at least 2 corresponding points on both triangles. The intersection point of the lines is the center of enlargement. In this case, we get the center as 9, -1. And so the full description for this transformation would be enlargement by a scale factor of half about the center 9, -1. Factorize completely. 12a cubed minus 21a. The common factor is 3a. When we factor that out, we are left with 4a squared minus 7. The nth term of a sequence is n squared plus 7. Find the first 3 terms of this sequence. To get the first term, we plug in n equals 1 into n squared plus 7. This gives us 8. For the second term, we have 2 squared plus 7, which is equal to 11. Then for the third term, we have 3 squared plus 7, which is equal to 16. These are the first 4 terms of a different sequence. Find the nth term of this sequence. When we take a look at the sequence, we see that there is a constant difference between the terms. So we can use this formula to find the nth term for the sequence. A1 is the first term, which is 15. D is the common difference, which is -8. When we expand the brackets, -8 times n is -8n, and -8 times -1 is 8. 15 plus 8 is 23. So the nth term is 23 minus 8n. As the temperature increases, people eat more ice cream. What type of correlation does this statement describe? Since the amount of ice cream people eat increases as the temperature increases, then we can say the correlation is positive. Sanjay invests $700 in an account paying simple interest at a rate of 2.5% per year. Calculate the value of his investment at the end of 6 years. The final value of his investment is equal to his principal plus the total interest he earned, which we can find using the formula P times R times C over 100. The principal P is $700. The annual rate R is 2.5% and T is 6. When we type this into the calculator, we get $805. Mira invests $700 in an account paying compound interest at a rate of R% per year. At the end of 17 years, the value of her investment is $1,030.35. Find the value of r. In this case, we need to apply the compound interest formula. When we make r the subject, this is what we have. Big A represents the final value of the investment, which is $1,030.35. Small a represents the initial amount invested, which is $700. T is the time duration in years for the investment, which is 17. When we type this into the calculator, we get 2.30 rounded to 3 significant figures. Simplify. H squared times h raised to the power 5. Since the terms have the same base and they are multiplying, their powers add. So we have h raised to the power 2 plus 5. 2 plus 5 is 7. Simplify. 7 over x all raised to the power negative 3. This can be rewritten as 7 raised to the power negative 3 over x raised to the power negative 3. 7 raised to the power negative 3 is the same as 1 over 7 cubed, and 1 over x raised to the power negative 3 is the same as x cubed. 7 cubed is 343, so we have x cubed over 343. A raised to the power 8 divided by a raised to the power p equals a squared. Find the value of p. Since these two have the same base and they are dividing, their powers subtract. So we have a raised to the power 8 minus p. Since the bases are equal on both sides, then their powers should also be equal. So we have 8 minus p equals 2. When we make p the subject, we have p equals 8 minus 2. 8 minus 2 is 6. Calculate the circumference of a circle with radius 4.7 centimeters. Here is the formula for the circumference of a circle. We've been given the radius r as 4.7 centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 29.5 centimeters rounded to 3 significant figures. Without using a calculator, work out 1 over 3 times 11 over 14. You must show all your working and give your answer as a mixed number in its simplest form. First, we need to convert the mixed fraction 1 over 3 into an improper fraction. So we have 3 times 2 plus 1, which is 7, divided by 3. 7 goes into itself once and goes into 14 2 times. So for the numerator, 1 times 11 is 11, and for the denominator, 3 times 2 is 6. 11 over 6 is an improper fraction, so we need to convert it into a mixed fraction. 6 goes into 11 once, with a remainder of 5, which we divide by 6. A is the point -6, 5, and B is the point -2, -3. Find the equation of the straight line L that passes through point A and point B. Give your answer in the form y equals mx plus c. All we need to do is find the values of m and c and plug in these values into the equation. We've been given points A and B on the line, so by applying the gradient formula, we have m equals 5 minus -3 divided by -6 minus -2, which is equal to -2. We can get the value of c by drawing a straight line through points A and B on the grid and picking the value on the y-axis through which the line passes, which is -7. So we have y equals -2x minus 7. Find the equation of the line that is perpendicular to L and passes through the origin. If the line is perpendicular to L, then the product of their gradients must be equal to -1. So we have m times -2 equals -1, which gives us m equals 1/2. We are told the line passes through the origin, which has coordinates 0, 0. This means C is also equal to 0. So the equation of the line is y equals half x. The diagram shows a rectangle OPQR with length 11 centimeters and width 4 centimeters. OQ is a diagonal and OPX is a sector of a circle center O. Calculate the percentage of the rectangle that is shaded. The percentage of the shaded rectangle is equal to the shaded area divided by the area of the rectangle times 100%. First, let's find the area of the rectangle. The area is 11 times 4 centimeters squared, which is equal to 44 centimeters squared. Now let's find the area of the shaded region. The area of the shaded region is equal to the area of the rectangle minus the area of the sector. From the diagram, we see that the radius of the sector is 4 centimeters. We need to find the angle of the sector, which we have labeled as theta. To get this angle, we apply SOHCAHTOA to the right-angled triangle OPQ. This gives us tan theta equals 11 centimeters over 4 centimeters. When we make theta the subject, we have tan inverse of 11 over 4. The area of the sector is theta over 360 degrees times pi r squared, where we found theta to be tan inverse of 11 over 4, and we know the radius r is 4 centimeters. We've already found the area of the rectangle as 44 centimeters squared. When we type this into the calculator, we get 34.22 centimeters squared. So now the percentage of the shaded rectangle is 34.22 centimeters squared divided by 44 centimeters squared times 100%. When we type this into the calculator, we get 77.8% rounded to 3 significant figures. Mrs. Colley buys a jacket, 2 shirts and a hat. The jacket costs X dollars. The shirts cost $24 less than the jacket, and the hat costs $16 less than the jacket. Mrs. Colley spends exactly $100. Write down an equation in terms of X. Solve this equation to find the cost of the jacket. The cost of getting the jacket, which is 1 times X dollars, plus the cost of getting the 2 shirts, which is 2 times X minus $24, plus the cost of getting the hat, which is 1 times X minus $16, is equal to $100. When we expand the brackets, 1 times X is X, 2 times X is 2X, 2 times -24 is -48, 1 times X minus 16 is X minus 16. X plus 2X plus X is 4X. Minus 48 minus 16 is minus 64. When we add 64 to both sides, this is what we have. When we divide both sides by 4, we get X equals 41. Y is inversely proportional to the square root of X plus 4. When X is 5, Y is 2. Find Y when X is 77. In mathematical terms, we write Y is inversely proportional to the square root of X plus 4. We can rewrite this as Y is equal to a constant, which we are going to call K, times 1 over square root of X plus 4. From here, we need to find the value of K. We can get the value of K by substituting the values of X and Y given in the question into the equation. This gives us 2 equals K over square root of 5 plus 4. Square root of 5 plus 4 is 3. When we multiply both sides by 3, we get k equals 6. So now, to get the value of y, when x is 77, we have y equals 6 over square root of 77 plus 4, which is equal to 2 over 3. Solve the simultaneous equations. You must show all your working. First, let's label the given equations. If we multiply equation 1 by 2, we have 6x plus 2y equals 22. Let's label this as equation 3. Now that we have 2y in equation 3 and negative 2y in equation 2, we can eliminate y by adding equation 2 to equation 3. This gives us x squared plus 6x equals 40. When we move all the terms to one side of the equation, we have x squared plus 6x minus 40 equals 0. We can solve this equation by factorization. We can rewrite 6x as negative 4x plus 10x. For the first two terms, when we factor out x, we are left with x minus 4. And for the final two terms, when we factor out 10, we are left with x minus 4. We can rewrite this as x plus 10 times x minus 4 equals 0. When we equate x plus 10 to 0, we get x equals negative 10. And when we equate x minus 4 to 0, we get x equals 4. Now that we have the values of x, we can plug in these values into any of the equations to get their corresponding y values. Let's use equation 1. When x equals negative 10, we have 3 times negative 10 plus y equals 11. When we simplify this and make y the subject, we get y equals 41. When x equals 4, we have 3 times 4 plus y equals 11. When we simplify this and make y the subject, we get y equals negative 1. The diagram shows an open rectangular box A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. AB equals 18.6 centimeters, BC equals 9 centimeters, and CG equals 14.5 centimeters. A straight stick AGM rests against A and G and extends outside the box to M. Calculate the angle between the stick and the base of the box. On the diagram, we've labeled this angle as alpha. To get the value of alpha, we apply SOHCAHTOA. This gives us tan alpha equals 14.5 centimeters divided by AC. When we make alpha the subject, this is what we have. We need to find AC. To get AC, we can apply the Pythagoras theorem to the right-angled triangle ABC. This gives us AC squared equals AB squared plus BC squared. When we make AC the subject and plug in the values of AB and BC, this is what we have. When we plug this into the equation we have for alpha and type this into the calculator, we get 35.1 degrees rounded to one decimal place. AM equals 30 centimeters. Show that GM equals 4.8 centimeters rounded to one decimal place. GM is equal to AM minus AG. We've already been given AM as 30 centimeters, so we need to find AG. To get AG, we apply SOHCAHTOA to triangle AGC. This gives us sin 35.1 degrees equals 14.5 centimeters divided by AG. When we make AG the subject, this is what we get. So now we have GM equals 30 centimeters minus 14.5 over sin 35.1 degrees centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 4.78 centimeters, which is approximately 4.8 centimeters rounded to one decimal place. The diagram shows a trapezium, OPQR. O is the origin, OR is A, and OP is B. The magnitude of RQ equals 3/5 of the magnitude of OP. Find PQ in terms of A and B in its simplest form. PQ can be expressed as PO plus OR plus RQ. RQ is 3/5 of OP. PO is negative B. OR is A and OP is B. Negative B plus 3/5B is negative 2/5B. So we have A minus 2/5B. When PQ and OR are extended, they intersect at W. Find the position vector of W. The position vector of W is the same as vector OW. The approach we'll be using for this question is to find two different ways to express the vector OW, then compare both vectors to be able to fully define the vector OW. One of the two ways we can express the vector OW is as a scalar multiple of the vector OR. If we call this scalar multiple x, then we have OW is equal to x times OR. OR is A, so we have XA. The second way we can express the vector OW is OP plus PW. PW can be expressed as a scalar multiple of PQ. Let's call this scalar multiple Y. OP is B. We've already found PQ in the previous question as A minus 2/5B. So when we expand the brackets, this is what we have. We can rewrite this as YA plus 1 minus 2/5YB. Now that we have two expressions for OW, we can compare the coefficients of A and B to find the values of X and or Y. When we compare the coefficients of A, we have X equals Y. And when we compare the coefficients of B, we have 1 minus 2/5Y equals 0. When we simplify this and make Y the subject, we get Y equals 2.5. Since X is equal to Y, then X is also equal to 2.5. When we put the values of X and or Y in either of the equations for OW, we get the same answer, which is OW equals 2.5A. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.